everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Hopefully everything goes well here. I think I've fixed the problem, but we shall see. Let me know the live is, you can see my screen and you can hear me okay. Let me know you can see the screen, that the sound is okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, Joey. Hi, Jay. I'll probably not pronounce your names very well. Eve, Alphonsus, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to start out on Bitcoin. Okay. I'm going to do my little spiel, and then I will check for questions. All right. If you've been following my channel and watching my videos, I talk about the 200 and the 300 MA. If we go back in history, we all know, because everyone's talking about it. Yes, Jay, I'll zoom in. We've never broken the 300. We've wicked down to it, but we never broken it. If you were to take these on back in time, we probably never broke the 300, okay? Can the first time for something happen? Absolutely, it can, okay? But for right now, we're going to say to ourselves that they'll hold, okay? I also talked about, okay, so I'm getting off track. So the 200 is sitting at 23,000, and the 300 is sitting right at the top of the prior bull run at 16. If the 300 can hold us and we wick it, we will stay out of the potential wave 1. That's what we want to see. This can absolutely still be a 4 and wick into the 300, okay? I've talked about also that in Elliott Wave, there is only 2 types of waves that can overlap, which are 3s and 4s and 1s and 2s. Let me know if the video's lagging for everybody else. At this point, I don't think I could fix the lag. If you look right here in this area, we have 3, 4, 3, 4. That's definitely a 3 and a 4 overlap, okay? Each one of these runs gets smaller and smaller as it goes up. This one was 320%. Every bull run after that gets smaller and smaller. This one is 57,000. This one is 12,000. And this one, believe it or not, is only 1900%. So every single one, as it rises and rises, each bull run has been smaller. What does that mean? Well, it means one of two things. Just as I said, we either have 3s and 4s, not there, 3s and 4s that are overlapping, or 1s and 2s. They're the only two things in Elliott Wave that can overlap the top of another structure. If we overlap the top of the 20K bull run, that is fine as long as we don't come into this one. If we come into this one, we will have to say that it's not 3s and 4s, and that every one of these has been a 1 and a 2, which is extremely, extremely bullish. When I say extremely, it's extremely bullish. This third wave that would come, the numbers would be crazy. Crazy. So, the only other option that I can see here, if we were to break this low, is that this is a complete cycle and we're going to correct it. But let's not even go there. I really don't think that would ever happen. That we would ever break this support that we have coming in here. This support right here. It's just big. Okay. So if we were to come into the 1, I don't think we'd ever break this. Okay. All right. Let me go back to my other chart. Let me know if it's still lagging. All right, as you can see, we're right on the edge of support here. We've done a good job of bouncing off of it, bouncing off of it, bouncing off of it. You can clearly see that if we lose approximately 28,000, that we could drop down, and that the next level that is going to possibly hold us is this notch of support here and this little outward tick here. If we lose that area, we're dropping down to the next one where it's sticking out here and the next notch of support. And of course, if we lose that one, then we come back down to this big area. Okay. If we hit this area, we will be thinking that it's a wave 2, because that will be way too deep for a 4 and it will come into this potential 1. If you've been watching my channel, you also know that I am very partial to this count and I'm hoping that it happens. Okay. The weekly 200 MA is sitting right on this line of fib levels. I always hit the wrong one. As you can see, it's sitting right there. We have this lineup of fib levels where I am pulling from this high to here, back up to here for the orange WXY. The yellow, I'm pulling from this top to here, here, and down. The white one is this internal leg structure. Okay, so that you know how I'm pulling these. We have this perfect lineup. Also the 200 MA, and also the base channel in blue is coming in right there. Okay, 23,000. These are all within $50, $100 of each other. Okay. All right, I'm going to clean it up a little bit, and we're going to talk about it here. I'm going to zoom in. Okay. If we lose 23,000, now we can definitely wick through and close back above, and that would be fine. Okay, I would not call that losing the fib level. But we need to hold it for the brown WXY to take place. And that would assume that the correction was like this. Nothing else will work when we come down there except a 5-wave move. We have to absolutely come out in a 5-wave move. Okay? If we don't, and we do a couple of things can happen here. But if we don't come out in 5 waves, we will wipe this WXY off the table, and we will assume that we ended here with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that the correction actually started from this top. Okay. Now there's a couple of ways that this can take place in here. The first one is that we go ahead and we come down in 5 waves. That was an ugly 5 waves, but you get the picture. It's going to assume that this C wave here is ending at the 2.236. At this point, we need to come out in 5 waves. If we do 3, it's going to be this yellow X. We would need to go high, as high as it can go, so that when the yellow Y comes, maybe, just maybe, it can truncate and hold these fib levels. If it doesn't, then we will come down, and these are the next fib levels we're going to watch, right in this notch of support. Okay, 19,300, 17,300. That is pretty much the WXY. Is there any questions about the WXY count before I move on to the other count? So it's lagging. Of course it is. Well, guys, I don't know quite what to do about it. I'm not very computer savvy. I don't think I can adjust it in the middle of a live stream. So just try to bear with me and maybe it will clear up. I'm hoping. Okay. If we lose these 2 fib levels, okay, the 19,300 and the 17,300, we're going to have to flip to this count. This is assuming that we either made a 1 or an A, a 2 or a B, and we're coming down for either a C wave or a third wave, and we'll have to wait and see. Now a C wave can come this deep, but we won't know which one it is until we get there. Okay? An X wave in my system has a big range. Okay? I allow an X wave to do the exact same thing as an expanded B wave. So let me explain. Say we came down in 3 waves here. I allow an X wave to come up and break the top into the expanded B pocket. Okay? And then come back down in 3. Now, in books and on the internet, you will not find that. But it comes from years of back testing and collaborating with other traders with a lot of experience. Okay? Try lowering the bit rate. There is an option, but I'm afraid if I do it, it might, I don't even know if I can do it in the middle. Yes, it will let me. I don't know. I was having an encoder error before, and that's why I couldn't go live for so long. Okay, so one person said the X wave could be in. Yes, it could be. It could be that this guy right here is an X instead of a 4. I didn't go over that, and I should have. Okay? And what it means is that the C wave ended here at the 1.618. Okay, but we're not taking off impulsive here. This is corrective. Okay, so this would mean W's here, and we had a very wimpy X. Okay, that's what that would mean if it's in. Okay, and we're going to talk about it when we get down to the lower time frame. So back to this count, we won't know if it's a C or it's a 5-wave move, especially if the C wave gets overextended. But let's worry about that if we even get down that far. Okay? Let's take it one step at a time, one leg at a time. Okay, I won't move the chart quick. I'll go a little slower with moving it. All right, so let's go down and take a look at this lower part. Okay. This is how the market can fool us, where everybody thinks that we're headed down, and it actually holds and pivots. Okay? What it does is it makes an ABC here, zigzag. And then pivots up. It makes this a connector leg, pivots up, and gives this leg a partner. It would fill the gap, and it would also, probability-wise, fill in this entire insufficiency. As you can see, with a straight down dump like this, this is what I call an insufficiency. It's an area where the market can go through it very easily. Okay? We'll talk about what needs to happen, okay, for this to happen, this leg. If we don't pivot up, then we're coming down in this 5-wave move, and the third wave will most likely get overextended, and it could even come pretty deep. Because if we crack this level, as you can see, we're like hanging on to a cliff here. Okay? There could be panic selling, and this leg could get pretty deep. Doesn't mean it has to, but it could. All right, so I'm going to zoom in a little closer and talk about this inner structure and what needs to happen. Okay. When I pull a fib extension from this high to this low, and there's not much difference from this low to this low, okay, to this high, you can see that we're sitting in the middle of two fib extensions, which is telling me that this is not done. Yes, it's a little pumpy right now, and we'll talk about this also. You can look at this in two ways, and I'm going to make it as easy as possible so I don't confuse you. This part right here is very three-wavy looking. Okay? It's very hard to make a wave one out of that. This could be three waves, and a deep C wave, okay, which would be 3. This move, and this move would be 3. And now it would be coming down in 5. 1, 2, 3, pumpy 4, 5. You can look at it that way, or you can look at it as a simple zigzag, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was the 3-wave pullback, and now we're making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's going to hold this ABC in white, I would think that it would hold this green box area with another rollover. Because as you can see, this support tapers off. If we come down deeper past the green box and hit the 1.618 at 27,000, it's very less likely that the white ABC is going to happen. Because we will get underneath all this resistance, and this leg's going to have a much harder time developing. Where basically this will turn into 1, 2, 3, 4 will get stuck, and 5. Something like that. Okay? So if it's going to do the white ABC, I would like to really see it hold this green box here. All right. I guess I could show you the tiny time frames here. Okay, so some people might think that this is a wave 1. But here was the invalidation. If this is a 1, and this is a 2, and this is a 3, our 4 came into our 1. To me, this looks like 3, 3, and now it's making 5. Okay. And it's a flat. They could go as high as this resistance box here at the 2.236. It would totally still be valid because here is our 1 area. As long as it stays out of 1, it can get pumpy. Okay? All right, well, that is pretty much Bitcoin. Is there any questions about Bitcoin? Let me check the chat here. Ma'am, let's see if we're going to see some bullish divergence. If this was to come down and hold the green box, okay, probability-wise, we would have this downward motion and this upwards motion. So on the 4-hour, yes. Let's check the 8-hour. We could have it on the 8-hour. We'll have to wait and see. And the daily. The daily, not so much. But if this was to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we would have reversal divergence here definitely on the daily. Okay. So there's a high probability that if this makes 5 down, that it can give us some type of bounce, whether it's the X wave or it surprises us all and it takes off. Imran, I probably didn't pronounce your name right, but yes, this market could definitely surprise us. And one more rollover to these extensions where everybody thinks that this is going to capitulate. It holds this little tick of support here. Okay, and it comes out of here. And this is what you're going to need to see. Okay. And this is something that I teach in my course. And I'm going to give you a little example of it. So there's your 5-wave move. First thing you want to see is a 1 wave that comes up, the 2 that finds support in this order block of the 4. This 3rd, which would make red candles like this, would be an insufficiency, which would allow the 3rd wave to eat right through that. 4th wave would find support on this support volume area here and this wave 2 area, and 5th would push up, creating this V-shaped recovery. What starts with 5 ends with 5, and the only thing at that point we would have to worry about is that when it pulls back for a wave 2 or a B wave, that it's not making a 3rd, that it makes a C wave and becomes a zigzag, which would create an X wave or a B wave. Okay? This would be this X. Okay? And I probably got a little pumpy there with my drawings, but it could go that high. It could. It could also be a B, where all of this turns into A. That becomes B, and we come down in C. But let's just hope that that is not the case, and the market surprises us greatly, pulls back for wave 2, and we are out of here. That could totally happen. But this right here is what you need to see. This is your first chance for entry. Not financial advice, but the stop goes here. If you miss it, this is your second chance. Same stop. That is a must off the bottom. If we come up and do some type of wimpy 3-wave that can't even get through this 4th wave territory, then down she goes more. If we come up and we can't get through this order block in the 2, okay, then it's just a 3-wave move, and this plans to come much deeper. I'm just going to call you Rand because I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. But I am getting into the exo charts and the, what's the other one? Bookmap. Yes, I'm starting to implement that. But I'm very big on order blocks and insufficiencies. It happens over and over in the market. This insufficiency, this fills it in. I mean, it's just crazy how it's just everywhere. It happens over and over. If my chart will load. This was an insufficiency. This was the order block. Here's a perfect example where the market pushes through the 4th wave territory, pulls back into it. Okay, this correction was actually like this. It was a bullish correction. And then this leg can eat through that insufficiency like butter. When it comes back down, it's the same insufficiency. It's able to go right through. Here's another example. Here's the 4th wave territory. V-shaped recovery. This wave pulls back into it. Insufficiency gets filled in. Comes back through the insufficiency. Here's the little order block it holds. Pumps up, down. I mean, it's just over and over and over in the market it does it. Ma'am, percentage-wise, I would have to say, if I was to put a percentage on it, that with the daily divergence that could happen if we roll over, with the reset of the weekly and the divergence that we have from this pivot, price would have to take out this low to wipe out this divergence we have on the weekly. On the monthly, we have just about, we have divergence from this pivot already. And it is just about to the lowest low it has ever made. I would say that this market could easily surprise us and hold these extensions here. I would say 60%, maybe more. The chance is there. Let me say that. The market has the chance. Okay? It's just, is it going to do it? Is it going to use its chance? And it's all going to depend on the buyers. Okay, so let's see. So we have Maytag, Chainlink, and yes, let me do the unrekted indicator real quick here for him before I move over. I said him, I assume. If you are female, I apologize. So what I'm about to show here is my good friend's amazing indicator. And the whole concept here, and I'll make this quick and easy. Imagine this is a cage. Okay? And these are moving averages that like to be in their cage. For whatever reason, they like it. When they are above the cage or below, price cannot enter that color of Bollinger Band. I know this looks a little messy, but take a look here. We have a yellow bottom and a yellow top. We have a blue bottom and a blue top. That's how it works. Okay? Those are the Bollinger Bands. Okay? You've got a top and a bottom of it. Let me see if I can get this moved up. If the color, like right now, blue and white are out of the cage to the downside, that means price cannot come in to those two Bollinger Band colors. So right here is the white one, bottom. Right here is the top. That's why price has been rejecting off of this bottom of the white. It will not come in to the white Bollinger Band and close a candle until white comes back inside its cage. If you notice right here, I'm going to try to get this as perfect as I can. White came back in. Right at that green candle where it came back in, we were allowed to break back into white. Okay? Ma'am, yes, this is being recorded. Okay? All right, so he was asking to take a look. So right now, I just wanted to give that little explanation so you understood. Blue and white are out. So that means we're not getting above blue or white on a weekly time frame right now. They have got to come in to the box before it's going to happen. Okay? 4-day. Okay, so 4-day, this is a perfect example. We've got yellow and blue on the bottom and white came in. That's why we were able to break through white. Right here where we broke through white is because white came into the cage. But we're not going to break yellow or blue until they come in. Okay? So this is resistance at 32,300 as long as they remain out the bottom of the cage. And we'll look at the daily and then we'll do the chart requests. If you're interested in these indicators, the link is in the description below. They're very affordable and they're well worth it. Okay, see how white and blue are inside the box? That means that on the daily time frame, we are not going to break these white or blue bands until they come out the bottom. As long as they remain in the box, this is support. So there's a good chance that that ABC I was talking about, okay? Look at where they're sitting. Right there. On those two bands is that green box. So as long as they're like that, that's going to hold. Okay? So I hope this helps, and I hope that's what you asked for. All right. The first one was Maytag. Let's use this chart. If you could also put the exchange. If you don't, I'm just going to use Binance because usually they have the most data. Maytag honestly looks like it's in a fourth wave. It really does. Now, this looks like a diagonal to me, which kind of supports that Bitcoin was a fifth wave here. So that would be an ending diagonal. This is its prior fourth wave territory. Okay. We don't want to break that, because if it does, it's going to free fall with this insufficiency here. Okay. We really need to hold this. So if it plans to come on down, that needs to be held. Now, just because this looks like a diagonal doesn't mean it is 100%. It definitely could be this. Okay? But we have to hold this fourth wave territory, because it's going to free fall. Okay. Your question was, WXY with Y as a triangle. I think you might mean on the lower time frame. These all have the same look. Okay, like this can be a connector if it's going to hold. ABC. Okay, and then basically, not to make it confusing, but this is how it connected. Okay, and then it'll try to use this leg just like the others, and you can see the insufficiency here, where it could get all the way back up to this order block if it can do it. I'm not sure the WXY you mean. If you're still here, I will take another look. If you can let me know where exactly you mean. But I don't see a WXY with a triangle on the higher time frame. This here is, all one move. This is a move, and this is its partner leg. It's just all depending on this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that's the case, it's starting from here. Okay, the next one is Chainlink. Looks like I had already charted it here. That's a beautiful wave right there. We got a main 1, 2. Fib extensions pulled. This white third, 1.618. Fifth to the 2.236. The inner count looks beautiful. Now, maybe, just maybe, there's more data somewhere. And there's another wave back here. Okay. This one is smaller than this one, which means this is not a higher degree than this one. When you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, the first one is the biggest. The second one is smaller. Okay. Hopefully there is some more data, and I don't have it all, and there's a wave back here. If that's the case, then there's a chance that it might be in a fourth and it will hold this fourth wave territory. But honestly, my honest opinion here is that this is coming down in a wave 2. And this would be a 1. And this would be 2. Highest peak on the RSI is here, right where it should be, with divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. Three-wave move to here. Three-wave move. This is the middle connector, connecting this leg to this leg. So we got leg, connector, okay, connecting this leg to its partner leg. If it plans to roll over again down here to this support, we know what we need. 5-wave move. If it makes 3, well, then unfortunately, we're connecting this whole entire structure to this one, and it's going to give it a partner leg. But this does look like a wave 2. Okay. I hope my drawings aren't too messy and too confusing. Oh, this is how I was showing the connector legs and such. Okay. Yes, I will call you Auden. I hope I said that right. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me see if I can find this one. ZI. Here it is. Wow, look at that flat in the middle. This one actually looks pretty good. So this is obviously its connector. That was a beauty. Connecting this leg to this leg. Okay. We need to stay out of this area. Okay. This one again, because it's broken its prior fourth up here, it's most likely in a wave 2. And this is 1. Especially if this plans to roll over again down to this support. Now, if we can get a rally here, Bitcoin rallies, it'll still come down to this support most likely. Because this right here is nothingness. Okay, but there is a lot of support coming in here that would hold it, and it would be a 2. Which means the third to come is going to be giant. It's going to be a beautiful buy. Well, this one's obvious. Is this all the data? That's worse. All right. Sushi needs to not break its low. This is coming down correctively. Okay. Hopefully, one more rollover because we don't want to break this. Now, what will happen if it does? Okay, say that it comes down here, breaks its low. All that means is that it will start again from here. Okay, meaning it will start, if it's going to start another bull run, it will start it from its low. Because we can't call this a 1 and a 2 if it breaks this low. Okay. But look at this downward motion and this straight across. This RSI is bottoming. It's setting up for a potential pop. So there's a good chance it doesn't break its low. But if it does, it has to start its new bull run from there. We won't be calling it a 2. Okay, this one looks like this is the one that it made 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and now it's making potentially 5. Okay, this all becomes a correction for 2. This is not a bull run here. This is a 3-wave move. So this is A, this is B, and it's either making C or Y, so W, X, Y, or A, B, C. It really needs to hold somewhere in this support. We can $618. If it can hold a higher low, that would be bullish. That would be a very bullish correction. Even though it's big and it's dumped, that's a bullish correction. 618 is what it really needs to hold. Because this is nothingness down here. That's all insufficiency. If it loses this low, it's going to get ugly. Really needs to hold this extension and come out of here in 5 waves. Okay? E. XRP to me looks like an expanding diagonal. Okay, I know a lot of people are saying that this is a 1-2 and a 1-2, something like that. No, it can't be. It broke the low. Okay. And to me, it looks like an expanding diagonal, which would be a 1. And we need to hold this low. And diagonals usually like to come back into this area, right where this support is. Okay. And then it's going to go, if it can hold it. Now, if I'm wrong, and that's not the case, and it's not an expanding diagonal, then this is corrective, and it came from over here with 3, 3, and then it looks like it's making some type of 3 here, but it's the same thing. It needs to hold this support. Okay, needs to hold in here, because underneath it is nothingness, right? But it's got a good chance that that's an expanding diagonal. An invalidation point is here, and really here, because they don't like to take out their 2s. Hope that helped. Link, lower time frame count. I didn't do it. I probably didn't go down that low. like 1 hour, this little correction in here. Potentially a diagonal here. Or this is definitely 3. This would have been 3, but now it's breaking the high. Let's see, what is it doing? I see it now. This was 3, 3, 5. Here's the connector. Connecting this leg, and it's giving it a partner leg. We're looking at this order block here. So we've got W, X, Y. This could get pretty pumpy if it wants to. Could come up into this order block. Hope that helped. Where am I at here? Hex. Ugh. See if I can find a better chart. Man, that's worse. This one? That's better. Well, I don't have a lot of data, but this had divergence right here. Okay, it's using it. This leg looks like it needs a partner. It's just a matter, is this done yet? Let's get down further and look. Yeah, I think this is A, B, C. And now this leg, it's going to probably give it a partner to here. If it gets above here, you can see the insufficiency there. It's going to come back up into this order blocks here. Okay, so it's trying to break this. If it can do it, then that's the next resistance. If it can break that, then it's going to fill that one in and come up here. This is a 3-wave move here. So it started off in 3 waves, unfortunately, and then this has invalidated where 1, 2, 3. Well, the 3 waves came back down into here and invalidated this being an impulse wave. Okay. So it may even, if it can't get through here, do something like this where it connects it like this and then gives this leg up. Something like that. And then that will be that one's partner. It doesn't look the best, but it wants to give this leg a partner. Okay. And here is the areas you got to get through. I don't know what its problem is. I'll have to get, I don't know what its problem is. It's always giving me problems. Okay. Anna, 1 second, and I think we did AVAX, but maybe we didn't. My VPR settings, Calvin, are I changed the row size to 480, and that's what gives it this look instead of those big blocks. Is that all the data? Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Well, I'll go with Bybit, I guess. It's not giving me a lot to go on here. But we do have this divergence here. Okay. This looks like 1, 2. This leg, here's the connector, connecting to this leg. 2-day divergence. If it pops up, it's probably got one more down, is my best biased. Before we see some type of rally, and it's all going to depend on whether it's 3 waves or 5. Don't have much to work with here. I'm probably on the wrong chart. I apologize. Anna. Soul. It's coming right into its prior 4th wave. Okay. Same thing, okay, as all the others. Really needs to hold it. If it doesn't, then we're going to be calling this a wave 2. Doesn't have divergence, but it's reset itself. This looks a lot like ETH. The way that this came down choppy and overlappy, that it could surprise everybody If Bitcoin decides to rally, what this one will do is this leg is an A. This is coming down into the expanded B pocket, which is these extensions here, and it'll rally for a C. The C wave, we'll have to see, does it get stuck here? And it's a running flat? Or can it get through? And if it does, it'll fill in this insufficiency, just like Bitcoin, and come all the way up to this order block. Unfortunately, we'll still be down after that, but maybe it can do it. If Bitcoin rallies, it will rally too, and it will be a flat, expanded flat or running flat, depending on whether it can get through here up to this area and fill it in. AVAX. This here is 1 right there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, same thing. If it doesn't hold in this fourth wave territory, then we're going to call it a 2. But this up here, that really looks like 3. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all going to depend on can it come out of here in 5 waves. Okay? If it doesn't and it does some type of 3, then we're connecting this leg to this one to the downside, but it'll still be a 2. Okay, probably will come to this support here. So the whole market right now is depending. They all look similar. Do we hold one more rollover? And what do we do after that? Okay, do we rip through here, pull back, fill in this insufficiency, 4 on top of here, and then a 5? Or do we do something like this, where we bonk our heads here and give this leg a partner? The whole market's pretty much the same. All dependent on what it's going to do when it rolls over again. Okay, I can do a few more, guys. Let's see. Bitcoin dominance. This to me looks like A, B, 1, 2, 3. This all looks like a 4, 5. Let me check one thing here. This guy right here could be a truncated fifth. So if this is going to do anything, it really needs to do 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the 1.618. Get through here, pull back for 4. Do not come into this area. 5 up. And then it needs to pull back in 3 waves, not 5. If it can do that, then this is a potential bottom here, and it's going to at least give 5 more waves and fill all this in. Okay? If it doesn't push up and complete the 5 waves, then it was attached over here. And it's got another down to go. There's always a bull and a bear scenario. My thoughts on the China stuff. I don't really honestly pay attention to the news too much. I'm not sure what the China stuff is. If you want to type it, I'll elaborate. If you could type briefly what's going on. I try not to watch too much of it because it's just depressing. What is the win probability with Elliott? How much do I need to trade it? Well, here's the thing. My system has Elliott Wave, 100%. I love Elliott Wave. It's my thing. Okay. But there's a lot more to what I teach than Elliott Wave. Elliott Wave is, if you had a piece of a pie and this was the entire system that I use, Elliott Wave is probably half of it. Okay. And then the other half is price action, order blocks, insufficiencies, trends and time frames. I'm big into the bullish and bearish ranges. Okay. If you notice on the 4-hour, every time it cracks 50, you're going to the upside. That's because it's breaking out of the bearish range into the bullish range. 4-hour, you crack 50 to the downside, you can guarantee you're going to get something like this. Okay. So Elliott Wave is my passion, and it's a big part of my system, but it's not all of it. Okay. There's a part of my system that I teach in the beginning that gets you trading before you don't even have a clue what Elliott Wave is about. Because the other half of my system is based off price action. So how much do you need to use it? I use it every day, but it's not everything. If I just used Elliott Wave, I wouldn't be successful. You can't just use Elliott Wave. You have to build a system around it. So I hope you're still here, and I hope that answered your question. Stonehammer, I'm going to do yours. And 56 people still here. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Let's see. Trying not to miss anybody here. Nicholas, we did hex. So I'm going to do Uniswap, hot. And I think I've got everybody. Let me know if I don't. Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. Okay, completely broke its fourth wave. So we need to hold this bottom and not break it. Okay, this one really needs, you know, if Bitcoin's going to rally, a rally up, and then that 5 next wave down, it needs to be it. And let's go so that we can call this a 2 and this a 1. We really don't want it to break the bottom, because then just like the other one I talked about, it has to start anew from the low. Okay. So see how it filled in this whole entire thing here? Because that's an insufficiency. It'll go right through it like butter. Okay, the next one. This is the exact thing saying it looks exactly like Bitcoin. The question, is this going to hold as a 3-wave move and then rally? And can it fill this in? Okay, if it can get above here, it will. Okay. And then what was the other one? Can Link get to any 13 anytime soon? If this can get big and it can keep pumping, 13's a little pushy. It's possible. If it can get really, you know, pumpy, it's possible. This is the highest it could go, which is 1575. And if it got up there, I would sell, because this is definitely a 3-wave move, which means it is coming back down. Not financial advice. I shouldn't have said that, but be thinking, what are you going to do there? Okay. If it can get there. If it can get past this order block right here, it's got a good chance of filling it in. So it's probably, you know, going to make another pullback, and then it will have to launch. All right, hot. I guess this. There we go. Well, I don't know if I have all the data. Okay. But it's the exact same thing. So this one has connected its leg, okay? This is all the middle part. But same thing as Bitcoin. If this can pull back in 3 waves, it's going to connect this to the connector to the upside. Okay. And it's just how pumpy can it get? Can it come up here? Okay. We'll just have to see. But if this can pull back in 3 waves and Bitcoin can do the same thing, then it will connect this leg to the upside. But it will come back down after it's done because this is a corrective move. All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry I didn't get to all of you. My brain is kind of fried here. But we're going to have these every Tuesday, again, at 2 o'clock. And thank you so much for you guys sticking with me. And I really appreciate it. And take a look at my website if you're interested in the course, okay? Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.